This video is in response to Jeremiah Hubble, I believe. Jeremiah, yeah. It's called Are Atheists Retarded? And he's going to start off by explaining his point, which he doesn't have one.
That I'd like to ask some of you folks out there, you may be wondering about the title of the video, Are Atheists Retarded? And what my point is behind that. I just got to listen to a 3-hour rebroadcast from 2000 of the Coast to Coast AM show where Art Bell interviewed the author of...
This all really holds no point to anything he says. He just says that it intrigued him to talk and listen, which I guess, I mean, he can put anything he wants in this video, but it doesn't contribute to his point at all. And, oh, this will probably be one of 2 parts. If I can find where, there it goes.
The God part of the brain and the God stuff. And I'm really intrigued by the conversation, and I want to go out and get this book because it's very interesting to me. Basically, the premise of the book is that through quote-unquote evolution, which I don't believe in, that man has developed a mechanism, a defense mechanism, basically to protect himself from the thought of death. And so he developed this belief in God as a defense mechanism because, he looked and said, basically the first few humans that were running around on the planet that evolved from, soup and bananas and monkeys and frogs and whatever.
I would say that we developed from something that either was some sort of ape or like an ape, but not from frogs or bananas for sure, considering bananas are artificially selected by human beings. But aside from that, overall, I think we could agree that yes, it's a natural, that the base definition is that it's a natural process, which I think is kind of what he's getting at. Or it's what the average, which one problem with this is that not all atheists believe in evolution. So basically to say that this is something that atheists believe, no, it's something that people who believe in evolution believe. An atheist, in fact, I know one at least that doesn't believe in evolution, that says that his premise is that it doesn't matter how we got here, and that's not something we should concern ourselves with. And that the evidence that he finds not to be satisfactory to actually believe in it. So no, this is not something that atheists necessarily believe. It's just what most of them believe. That's a coincidence.
They're running with their fellow tribesmen, and their fellow tribesman gets eaten by,
Oh, my bad. Yes, he is right. What I meant to agree with there was that I have no argument against the argument, I suppose, or the hypothesis that we developed a belief in God to keep us from thinking about death. That's completely and altogether possible. I have no problems with anybody who believes that.
Lion or something, and he looks, he's like, oh man, that could have been me. And so he develops this defense mechanism to say, well, after I get eaten by the lion, then I have a life after this. And it was a defense mechanism that was developed to protect them from death. And this was the premise of the book. And, for this 3-hour radio broadcast, there were some very interesting questions that were brought up. But I guess my thinking on it is this. If there is this certain part of the brain, are atheists retarded? Are they handicapped? And can we as Christians look at them and judge them as having all their faculties? I mean, of course, an atheist would say, well, no, I'm overdeveloped. This area, I've gone to the next step of evolution where I deal with mortality and basically say, this is all there is, and I'm a higher evolved being. But you wouldn't look at somebody that had brain damage and couldn't see colors, or, wasn't able to walk right. You wouldn't look at that person and say, oh, they're higher evolved. You'd say they're brain damaged.
Actually, this isn't true. Higher evolved, there's no such thing. Everything's on the same evolutionary level, so no one can be higher evolved than anyone else. This is completely redundant and pointless, to be quite honest. Not to mention the fact that if we were to look at evolution and say that there were beings that were higher evolved, I kind of don't see how in the inability to see colors is, well, let's put this in better terms. To say that intelligence is something which one could, which would be a better adaptation to the environment, then that is one adaptation. Yes, you are correct, if that's what you mean. But I could have higher intelligence, therefore not believe in God, therefore that actually be a better adaptation for me. It's like saying, you know, you have a new type of bat that they just discovered, and instead of hearing, it sees. And it sees just like a falcon, and it's like saying, but that bat is deaf. Which one is higher evolved? They both do the same thing pretty effectively, so there's no real way of discriminating. So a colorblind person, a crippled person, look at Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking could be your definition of a higher evolved being, although I would say that his brain is more well adapted to, and well, it's probably not more well adapted, it's probably just had more time to think about it. However, I think I made my point.
Retarded, there's, the handicap, something's wrong with them. And so I wonder if atheists are retarded. To me, it seems like that's the logical conclusion that can be drawn. That of course, how could somebody believe that we come from rocks? And
who says we come from rocks?
Primordial soup and this, billion years ago rained on the rocks and it created this soup, and inorganic material became organic, and that's where life started.
Inorganic material would be something that doesn't have carbon in it. Organic material would be something that does.
It's in the soup, and it's like the swamp thing, or the swamp monster comes out.
Also, what you're doing is you seem to be. Let me see if I got the book now. Is this it? No, that's not it. Here we go. An Introduction to Biological Evolution. What I think you're trying to get at is the primordial soup, which I'm going to have to stop this because I don't know how long this has been going, and I can't upload videos that are longer than 10 minutes. So, part 2, and I'll get into the definition of evolution.